Shanti. Good morning and a very warm welcome to today's session. The topic for today's session is what is success? If we observe from a bit detached point of view, we all are living our lives, and every other person has different set of beliefs in leading their lives. If someone feels that drinking, smoking is success for them or is right for them, that is how they're approaching their life. Some people are running behind money, some people are following spirituality. So we all have different tastes to our lives. And according to what we have understood about life, some people think that we should just live and enjoy and experience everything and anything which is being offered or which is there on this planet, like alcohol or non-vegetarian food. Sometimes, people believe that if you're not partying, if you're not eating non-vegetarian food, if you're not dating someone, or if you're not eating non-veg, then we are not living our lives. On the other hand, there will be people who would just don't want materialistic things in their lives. They would just want to meditate, sit in silence, don't want to do anything, don't want to talk with people, go out in jungle, and they think this is the real success in lives. So often we tend to ignore or never ask ourselves question that what is real success in life. And from our childhood, we are surrounded by a set of people, we are surrounded by a set of beliefs, we see movies, we talk to people, we interact with a lot of people with different set of beliefs, and we tend to form our own perception, our own understandings about lives, and that is how we gradually all live our lives on the set of beliefs or our own experiences. But before doing things in life, once in a while we should stop and ask ourselves what is real success in life. And that is when uh, awakening comes in our lives, when we actually realize that what is happening, happiness, what is real success. Otherwise what will happen is, we we would live our lives completely, live our lives for 40, 50, 60 years, and then at the end of the time, there will be a lot of moments of regrets, and we would think that maybe I would have done something else. I would have lived some other way. I would have uh, should have forgotten people, forgiven people, or something like that. And it would just end like a normal life. But a true successful life is a life of balance, where we are able to manage different spheres of our life very well. If suppose there are many spheres like financial sphere, like spiritual, like mental, like physical. So there are different aspects to uh, each and everyone's life. And when we are completely focused on only one aspect of life, maybe may it be earning materialistic wealth, may it be only physical, the balance in life is not there. And sometimes what happens is we tend to ignore the material as well. This life of ours is a combination of material and subtle, material and spiritual, right? And when we tend to balance both, only then we can say that we are leading a successful life. Let's take an example. I have personally seen a lot of examples around me. My family is filled with a lot of businessmen, the people who have accumulated wealth throughout their lives. And in pursuing this wealth in their lives or fulfilling their responsibilities of their own needs or of their families, after a while I've seen them not happy. They're just going to the offices, working, earning money, interacting with people with only one perspective, that they want to accumulate wealth, and it satisfied, it gives them a sense of security, and that is how they're leading their lives. But I see them very sad at some point of time, especially when some situation or some event turns up in their life which is not favorable according to them, right? So when I have seen a lot of people who tend to ignore other aspects of life, like physical aspects or mental nourishment or mental health. They've completely ignored it, and at the end of their lives, it doesn't feel like an ideal life, or maybe you won't feel like this is not the life that I want to live. There are people who completely tend to ignore the material because they feel that this is just Maya, right? Earning wealth is Maya. Again, you can go up to those people and look up to them. Maybe you may or you may not relate with them, but mm, spirituality teaches us to bring about a balance. You don't have to leave anything. You have to. You can be career oriented. You can be successful in life. At the same time, you can uh, have that peace of mind within yourself. So when we tend to add balance to our lives, maybe some people would have a preference of going to a jungle. That is their way of understanding life. That is completely okay. But if you want to live a balanced life, and at your deathbed you don't want to feel sad, or feel that you have not lived up to the mark, you have not done up to the mark, right? You need to stop, you need to pause, and once or twice, maybe every year, maybe every 6 months, or maybe quarterly, you can review and reflect and understand that how and ask yourself the question that how should I live a life which will be full of contentment? And at the end of the day, when I am leaving this body or living this world, am I actually really satisfied with what I've done in my life, right? So when we add the blend of spirituality to our uh, life, our material life, the magic starts happening. And that is why, in order to bring a balance, you need to take care of all the aspects in life. You cannot ignore the physical aspect. You may be mentally well, you may be earning well, and if you're not physically looked after yourself, you have become very fat, or you have become the opposite, very thin, you're not balanced, what will happen? Or maybe you have some physical challenge, then again you cannot take the advantage of or maybe have the feeling of contentment. Just for instance, if suppose my complete body is okay, but there is a bite, there is a mosquito bite, or there's any something which is there on my hand which is aching, which is paining, my complete focus will shift here, and I would not be able to focus on the other aspects of my body, other parts which are completely fine, completely okay. So this is what happens, that when we miss out balance in our lives, one aspect is good, two aspect is good, three aspects are good, maybe relationships are not good, maybe my physical health is not good, other all other aspects are good, my complete focus will shift on that one thing which is not good, right? And that is why balance needs to be there to lead a successful life. And how that balance will come? It will come by uh, inculcating spirituality within our lives. It is not something very separate. I can share my personal example. I am a chartered accountant. I have my own office. I have my family to whom I give time, right? Uh, Without spirituality, it was very difficult to manage myself. It was difficult to manage the relationships because these days they are starting to get toxic, right? But as soon as the blend of spirituality started entering into my life, I realized that this uh, enables me to balance everything. Because sometimes in this world there is a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of spiritual knowledge also. We all know that we have to be happy, we all know that we need to think positive, we all know that we have to behave good with people, we have to earn wealth. But knowing itself is not sufficient enough, because knowing and doing are two different things. You know, we tend to say a lot of things in our lives. कि मैं ये कर लूंगा, I can do this, I'm going to do this. But practically, when we start doing something, maybe for instance, you want to have a good body, good physique. You will say that from tomorrow, every day I'm going to the gym. I am not going to miss my gym, and within a period of 6 months, I'll have six-pack abs. I'll have this sort of body. I'll have muscles. I'll have everything. But saying is very easy. The very next day, it is winter season. Maybe you will wake up and you'll feel like, okay, I'll go from tomorrow. Okay, my bike is not starting. I'll go from the day after tomorrow. So there are going to be challenges, and it is going to be difficult in matching your words with your actions. So we tend to have a lot of knowledge. We tend to attend the spiritual classes, understand a lot of perspectives of our lives. but it is very difficult to actually follow. And this is where spirituality plays a very vital role. Spirituality, it gives the soul the power to actually follow the things that you wish to follow, to have that control in our lives. For example, if suppose I am going to the gym and I have read every manual, every user manual of how to, build up muscles, how to be look bulky, and I have every knowledge. I know how to pick up a dumbbell, the way which I have to carry it or use it, every knowledge I have. But if I don't have the proper diet, if my body is not powerful, I'll not be able to make the body uh, for a period of 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. That period will keep on passing, but I'll not be able to have a good body, good physique. Why? Because I didn't have the power. Similarly, we tend to listen to a lot of knowledge, to a lot of people, to podcasts, to YouTube interviews, to TED Talks. But what we lack is the power to implement that knowledge. And that is where spirituality enters up and plays a very crucial role. So when I give some time to God, some time to meditate, to listen to his powerful virgins, godly virgins, which you call Murli Adi Brahmakumaris, it feeds the soul with a lot of power. And then we see that, there is a lot of implementation which is going along with the knowledge. And that is where the balance starts entering into our lives. So in today's time where there are ample of challenges within everyone's life, no one, you would usually meet 99, 95% people who are going through something in their lives, some or the other challenge in their lives. So in this time, if we talk about being successful, being happy, doesn't mean that we just have earned a lot of wealth. We have some very good branded clothes. We have some very good home or some cars or Gucci or something like that. No, that is not completely the definition of success, right? Uh, when I am able to balance every sphere of life, when I'm able to have very good relationships, when I'm able to have very good mental health, that nothing outside impacts the inside of me, then we can say that I have lived a happy and successful life, right? So, in order to remain happy in today's current time, we have to learn to be happy under extremely unhappy circumstances. Being very practical, there are going to be challenges in everyone's life. And we cannot pray every day that, please God, take this challenge away. Please God, I don't want this challenge to stay. ये इसको खत्म कर दो परमात्मा बाबा इसको खत्म कर दो. This is not going to work because even if one challenge ends today, suppose you're facing a challenge today, any situation that you're facing and you're praying God to just close this chapter down, and God listens to you and adds his grace to you, and then this chapter very soon it ends. uh, are you done with life, or there is going to be next challenge, right? Obviously there will be some other challenge on the second day, on the next day, because this is the time of settlement. There will be a lot of karmic accounts triggering. There will be a lot of people who will not be talking very pleasantly with us. There will be politics in our offices, in our homes. People, not everyone is going to talk to us very sweetly. Someday someone will behave very rudely with you, irrespective of how you behave with other people. So externally, yes, please stop thinking that challenges are not going to come, or any single day cannot happen the way you want it to happen. So what we have to learn is to increase our resilience, to become so powerful that nothing outside impacts us. You know what God says is, परिस्थिति हमें तब अफेक्ट करती है, सिचुएशन affects us when our sthiti, when our soul power is low. It is not the situation that causes the problem, it is our inability to face the situation that causes the problem. This is a very deep line to understand in the modern times, in today's times where every moment is filled with some or the other challenge. That not the situation that causes the problem, it is our inability to face the situation that causes the problem. So what we need to do is to imbibe some or the other spiritual practices in our lives that increases our soul power on daily basis. And that is when the challenge will not feel like a challenge. It will be an opportunity to showcase your skills. Just for instance, I'm today, I don't know why, but I'm giving a lot of gym examples. That is what is striking to me right now. But if suppose I've built up, I have done gym for good 5 to 6 years. I have a very good body, very good physique. And if someone asks me to lift a weight of, say, suppose 20 kgs, will it be a challenge for me? No. It will be an opportunity for me to showcase my talent of how much I've worked on myself, right? Because I'm physically strong. If suppose I'm very weak physically and someone asks me to lift a dumbbell of 20 or maybe 15 or maybe 10 kgs, it will be a very big challenge for me. Why? Because the challenge is not in dumbbell. The challenge is in my inability or my physical weakness. Likewise, when I'm emotionally very down, spiritually very down, my energy is drained out, even the simplest of challenge will feel very difficult. And this happens with every one of us, right? When our mood is okay, when everything is going good, even the big things in our lives that feel like, they're small things. But when my mood is not good, even the smallest of things will become the biggest of challenge for me, right? So God says that sometimes the biggest of challenge in our lives becomes the biggest of opportunity. What we have to do is to become very, very powerful rather than every time asking God for mercy. Rather than asking for mercy, start drawing strength from the divine, right? So in present times, in current times, in order to remain success, to become successful, to remain happy, what we need to do is to increase our soul power, and that comes from meditation, and that comes from listening to godly words, right? So just stop running behind other ideologies, stop getting influenced from people who are doing a lot of show off. There are people who are wearing just brands, just showing off, doing parties, and we feel that their life is perfect. No one is showing their uh, bad times on Instagram. No one is going to show their losses. No one is going to post when they fail in certain exams. And when we see other people doing good, posting pictures of their holidays, of their success, we feel that their life is perfect, and that comparison comes. But when you go deep down, you will realize that no one's life is perfect. They are just pretending, and we are getting influenced out of no reason. I have personally seen a lot of people doing this. You know, there was this friend of mine who was a very good friend of mine. She got engaged, and she used to post very good pictures and still post very happy pictures with her husband. His fiance, he came to our city and we went out and he was driving the car. She just asked him to drive the car very slowly because he was rash driving. So he got angry and he started driving very curiously and, started uttering some words. So that is when I realized that this relationship with that person, it looks so perfect on Instagram. It feels that she's so lucky to have him, but it was very difficult for me to bear that person even for 1 hour. So what happens is we tend to, just blindly follow people. There are many influencers on Instagram, many people I see, they on the inside they are not very good people, and people are crazy for them because we have been blindfolded uh, by the perception this body consciousness or this ancient or this present time creates, which is called as Kali Yuga. There are a lot of illusions we feel. You see a lot of actors doing suicide these days. Why? Because their life seems perfect. They have money, they have girlfriend, boyfriend, they party, people follow them, they have name, fame, everything, which we are seeking. Still, they are doing suicide. Why? Because values from their lives are missing. So stop. This is the time where a lot of people are deeply sleeping, and at the same time, there are people who are going towards awakening. This is the time to realize that what can fulfill my needs. Right from the childhood, I am just running after things and running without no satisfaction. Only temporary happiness. I've cleared my exam. I have a new relationship. What next? Is that relationship going to keep me happy always? Or is that medal which I've earned is going to keep me happy always? No. So Just stop running after the illusions of this world and think that I've lived a successful life. Just Google today. Go to Google and Google it. Last words of Manohar Parikh, who was a very renowned politician, had wealth, health, everything he had in life, power he had. But on his deathbed, when he had cancer, he was alone on his deathbed. He had to alone. No one else could face that cancer for him. It was just himself who was facing. And then he realized, and he in that newspaper, that article is there. He said that I was running after these things throughout my life, entire life, thinking that this is success. But I realized that if there's someone standing beside me and taking care of me, that is real success for me. So again, we don't have to go to any extremes, but we should always learn spirituality is one word, and that is balance, right? So we need to seek that balance in order to actually feel successful. Success just doesn't mean that I have very good clothes, I'm wearing blazer, and I eat very good uh, food, go to very good restaurants, I post pictures on social media, and people just like me. No, that is a pretentious life. We are seeking approval of people to feel happy, right? Yesterday, with my flatmate, I was discussing, he was telling me that there are cricketers, there are people who wear t-shirts worth 1 lakh, 1,80,000, 1,20,000. Uh, we can get a good t-shirt for odd 500, 600 rupees also. But why we are running behind these brands is to just show off that, I have so much, I've earned so much. And that is how our society measures success. They feel that having, you know, extra wealth than the common people is success, which is not the truth. And many people in this present times have started realizing this, because real success is when you are contented at the end of your life. Real success is you're contented not at just the end, but at the present moment, that I am doing my best. So just recheck and reevaluate your beliefs and stop running after these beliefs which have been created by the society, these boxes which society is trying to put us all in, and recheck and reevaluate the real definition of success when you ask yourself questions, introspect. When this is a very funny thing, when I was not spiritual, I had different dreams for my life. I wanted to have a job in a big city and have very good bunch of people, cool people who are partying, and I'm just getting out of sunroof and enjoying my life. This was my view of my life, which was driven by movies, which was driven by different set of beliefs, different people. But when I realized that these are the illusions, this can never, just going out for movies or going out with friends. Again, I am not against these things. We should cherish good times with our friends. We should enjoy. We should go on drives. That is all good. But that is not the permanent definition of happiness, the real definition. Real definition of happiness or success is when you feel elevated every moment in your life. Is when your life is not just limited to three, four people and you're doing good for them. Other people are not very close to you, not your good friends. You're having good feelings for your partner, and you're having bad feelings for every other person. That is a big failure, I would say. When we tend to have good feelings for everyone, when we tend to imbibe very good spiritual principles in our lives, when we start doing good for others also, when we start forgiving the one who has done something wrong with us, that is when, in true sense, we start becoming successful. And also at the same time, you're not ignoring your physical health, you're not ignoring your financial well being, you're not ignoring your relationships. A successful life is a life of perfect balance, and we should every moment strive to become balanced. It is an ongoing process. We need to just check and change every time. We at the Brahmakumaris, we call it check and change. We observe the shortcomings of our life, and every next moment we are improving. We are becoming better. We are adding more balance to our life. And when we do that on a continuous period of maybe 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 8 years, the balance, the perfection, it starts reflecting in our actions, in our lives. And that is the life of contentment. That is the life of real success. So everything and anything outside and around, you know, is going to create an illusion, because this is the illusion that body consciousness creates. This is the illusion that this world at the present moment we call it Kali Yuga creates. And we need to go beyond that to actually live or lead a happy and contented life. So according to me and according to knowledge that God Father gives us, the real success is not just material, it is the balance of our lives. So I hope you have a fresh perspective of success, and you are surely going to give yourself some time and actually evaluate the meaning, the real meaning of success, so that at the end of our lives, or at the end of the day, you will feel that I have led a good life and I have not mislived my life. Sometimes it happens, no? We go back to our childhood, to our school days, or maybe 2, 3 years back. We had different beliefs and we followed those beliefs and wasted a lot of our times. So before wasting the time, before choosing any path, just give yourself time and ask yourself very honest questions. And that is where the answer lies. That is where your conscience is going to answer you at what is real success. So stop running, pause, reflect, and then start running again in the right direction. So I hope you have learned something from today's session. Now we are moving to the other session. But before that, let's take a minute and meditate and reflect on the definition of success. Thank you very much for joining today's session. I had a great time along with all of you. Om Shanti. Let's meditate. You can keep your eyes open and realize that I am a point of light residing at the center of this forehead. In this present moment, I add God's divine light to my surroundings and to myself and to this body. God's vibrations are entering my house, entering my office, and within my body. And I am feeling contented, positive, recharged, and happy. I am a being of peace. And every now and then, I am going to take some time out and reflect on this very beautiful aspect at what is real success. I am God's child, and God is always looking after me and protecting me. I am super blessed and powerful. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.